here for the town administrator report, so I'll begin that now. We're holding a town administrator coffee hour June 16th right outside. It's not going to rain next week, 10 a.m. And we're looking for any residents who want to come in. I usually get a few, and I'm sure people have some comments and thoughts about town meeting or anything coming up this summer. In terms of our human resources report, the main item here from Aubrey was the appointment request for Deputy Chief Andrew Booth, who you did appoint tonight. And it was just noted he was a longtime member of the department and more than 2 decades of service to the community, having begun his police career in 1999 and promoted to sergeant in 2013, so a leadership position for more than 13 years. We also have a new summer fun co-director joining us this summer, Jean, who's been an education professional for 30 years with extensive experience in program development, student supervision, and team leadership, including creating the senior project at Maynard High School and co-developing its advisory system. So this position will be assisting Holly with the Summer Fun program. It was a service and resident request, and it comes from the funding fees from Summer Fun, so it is not a budget hit. We also made an offer recently to a DPW laborer position, so that is the vacant position that we hope to fill. Still have to pass physical examination and drug tests for the CDL licensing, so not finalized there. And we do need COHS van drivers, so if you know people who like to do good in the community and drive our fun vans, let us know so we can have someone do that. Aubrey also would like to thank the Select Board for its commitment to employees by approving the latest version of the personnel policies on May 26th. This has been done and communicated to the staff. And now we get to do the harder ones and discuss that as we were waiting for our new Select Board members. So we're going to be discussing personnel policies, which is riveting and exciting, and we're happy to have you do it with us. For department updates and information, state budget update, the Senate passed its version of the state budget, which includes a significant increase in local aid, more than we projected in the budget that went to town meeting. There still has to be the consensus budget between the Senate and the House, so we don't know where those numbers are going to fall. But if they do stay at the Senate level, then our state aid is higher than projected, so it would lower the tax impact we presented at town meeting. That does increase our confidence in our projected average tax bill increase. And additionally, we're tracking several earmark requests that are under consideration in both the House and Senate budgets, which would allow us to not have to spend free cash on some of our capital items. And we're hoping that those go through. Examples include the walkway and wall projects at the school. If we didn't have to spend MFC money or capital money on that, then we can get other projects done or return the money to free cash. Thanks to our great conservation team, we recently received news that the Commonwealth is going to fund the inspection of Cranberry Bog Dam number 1. They already are and have completed their inspection of Curve Street Dam, and spoiler alert, it's not good. But combined, these grants saved the town nearly $14,000. I will note that you will be talking a lot about dams in the coming year, so I will try to get you the information you need for both Curve Street and Dam number 1. We did receive a clean single audit. The single audit is required for the town when we spend federal funds. This is heavily managed by Kelly. It is Kelly's focus, and the credit goes to her for us getting this clean report. The reason why we need this is the last year of ARPA spending. The ARPA was a great benefit to the town, but we have run out of that great benefit, and since we're closing that out, in addition to the money that we spend on the federal school lunch program, we need the single audit. However, next year we don't think we'll need one, so that's just one more requirement that we don't have to fill, which is nice. You were noticed of an environmental sampling. The Golden Environmental Consultants were testing water on town property, mainly the library and the Center Garden. Why can't I think of that? Center Park Garden area, and this is related to investigations for the Ferns project, which we have discussed and you have supported. Also, the Transfer Station Action Committee is requesting or adding signs that request that residents don't dispose of food waste in the regular trash. This was a conversation that you had with the TSAC a couple times this spring, and they took a picture of it and they put it in my report for you to look at. They were just notifying you that that's up now, so you understand. It was recommended that they bring that to you. And the Western Street culvert, so some good news in capital. We received final confirmation from our engineering team that the Westford Street culvert repair project has received a certificate of compliance from the Conservation Commission, which means we do not need to do the expanded project, which would have been many hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's good. We'll continue to monitor it to make sure it's a good solution, but I drive over it every day and I'm thankful that it's working. For capital project updates, the elevator modernization project, which was now approved 2 town meetings ago, is starting on June 17th, which is next week, and it will be followed by work in the town hall and the library. The order of that will be dependent on the library renovation project and when it makes sense to go into that building. The school's going first so that that repair can be done before the school year begins. So they're ready to start and we'll end it before the school year begins. Hopefully that doesn't speed up the summer. We're coordinating with the library, as I said, to make sure that we are timing that with the renovation. And then for town hall, for any functions that happen in the second floor, we will have accommodations in place for anybody that needed the elevator in terms of accessing services. So we're coming up with a plan for that. For our annual road maintenance project, that's going out to bid next week before the end of the month and is due back July 7th. So we'll know how many roads that we can do. The primary bid includes, and this is not new, this is a published report, but Heald Road, Pope Road, South Street, West Street, and Judy Farm Road, with alternate bids including the Audubon Lane drainage, North Road, Indian Hill, and Autumn Lane. We do not think with the reserves of Chapter 90, the money that we need to reserve for the Connected Carlisle project and the amount approved at town meeting, that we'll be able to do all of that, but we're hoping that the bids come in low and we can accomplish all of that. And lastly, for these capital projects, the Connected Carlisle sidewalk project, we did not receive the final design grant for the sidewalk. It would have been our 3rd grant for this project. I guess the 3 was too many, but this project connects Church Street all the way down to Stern Street with sidewalks, and it is going to start now that we know the funding solution is going to be Chapter 90. So that design work will begin at the end of this month, culminating with construction documents and a bid, which will allow us to see how much of the $600,000 in grants we've secured so far will be able to accomplish our sidewalk project. We're also working with the Diamond Park Group and the CPC to understand how we can maybe close some of the funding gap that we anticipate with ADA accessibility and connection to those projects. And also, we are coordinating with the Historical Society to make sure that we do not cause any problems or damage with the historic backstop in the ball field. So this is a multifaceted project.
That's historic?
It is.
The backstop?
It is.
Yeah. The brick one, the stone one.
Really?
And we are not to touch it. We will not.
We will not.
All right, CPA projects. Diamond Park. This is going to be on your radar this year as the subcommittee finalizes their work with Lula Architects on the design of the new toddler playground. This has been coordinated with our engineering team so that it connects to the sidewalk, and we expect both to maybe begin next summer after these design processes are done, assuming that there is a positive vote and design for you to consider through CPA funds at the next town meeting. So you should expect us to provide you significant updates and maybe a presentation from this group after it gets approved, if it gets approved by the Recreation Commission. So that is going to be a big part of your town meeting in the spring. Also, I prefaced this a little bit, but the Cranberry Bog Dam number 1, I did review these repairs with Megan, the temporary repairs that were done. If you go and look at it, there is matting down that is netting that is keeping the erosion in place. So what happened was they took a really big compactor and they cleaned up all the burrows. They added soil and material and then put the netting in there so that the dam can be at least stabilized for now. There was significant burrowing to the point where none of the engineers nor the contractors were willing to work on the dam. So the temporary repairs were the ones that were visible and that we can see, but there's still more damage in there. So we're going to need, the CONSCOM is going to need to hire an engineering team to discuss the dam and its future. And I would expect this to be a significant talking point in the coming year and a significant expense as well. All right, building construction projects. Speaking of expense, the police station renovations, the final contaminated soils are gone. The dirty dirt is finally gone, allowing the contractor to complete some foundation work. Once these are in place, we expect construction to accelerate quite a bit. Weather conditions and the discovery of contaminated soils have impacted the schedule, resulting in what we think will be an anticipation and extension of the completion date, but we do think the project remains within its contingency budget. So more time, but not necessarily a ton more cost. For the fire station renovation, with voter approval now secure, the project team is going to work with the OPM to finalize our contract. I saw a version of that today, so we should be able to sign the contract by the end of the month and start with construction, which is expected to begin in August, believe it or not. It has been a long project. Design time, heading into construction season. For the DPW renovation, we intentionally paused design depending the outcome of the town meeting and the election. With that complete, we will start introductory design meetings with the selected architect and the DPW building committee, which Travis is the chair of. The resulting conceptual plans and project direction will be brought before you so that you can understand where the project's going before we start the actual design and construction document and bidding in anticipation of the 2027 annual town meeting. Lastly, the library renovation. We looked at contracts for this as well today for both the temporary space and the construction project. The library you will start to see moving trucks moving the library to the temporary space, moving other items into storage and protecting some in place while the construction starts. So that's going to be a significant impact on the community. Martha and I talked today about how to communicate that because programming will continue. It's just going to be in different spaces around town. All right, some employee recognition. First, if you go upstairs, you'll see the Eagle Scout project and plaque where it labels all of the Carlisle Eagle Scouts. In addition to being, humbled by how many people are Eagle Scouts here in Carlisle, Al did take that and update it. So it's one of the things he does around here is updating our plaques and making sure that they are all good to go because residents do like that. Stephen also wanted to recognize Al for his ongoing support at the police station. He comes in on weekends and holidays. He comes in on Monday holidays a lot to finish the lobby floor here in town hall to make sure that it's good and presentable. And he does this all within his limited part-time hours. So, he doesn't charge us more. He just comes in when it's necessary, providing excellent service. And he's just one of the people that works around here and makes this place nice. And not a lot of people know that, and we think they should.
For reference, Stephen Kearney.
Stephen, yeah.
Well,
We get Steve and Stephen.
they're new members. I don't know. They know.
That's right. Stephen Canary, our facilities director. And then for Chief Amendola, so I was texting him tonight. He was appointed last night. We're gonna have lunch because I missed his goodbye luncheon on Friday. But I'm pretty sad to lose a talented department head. But I'm excited for his future, and I'm glad he's staying in the region. In just 3 years, he was able to stabilize and modernize a small town police force, building a sustainable structure that was less reliant on part-time service without adding additional cost. So this will assist the town in years to come as it'll help us with recruiting and retention. He also brought in animal control resources, a donated drone, several community initiatives like Cones with a Cop, which is very popular, and of course Athena, who might be the most popular member of all of town staff. So the future of the department is bright thanks to his work and his help with increasing our professional development to include tonight the development of our new interim chief, who we're excited to have. Some upcoming topics for you are your select board goals, and many of the capital projects I just mentioned are also going to be a significant part of your agenda in the coming months. We have some approvals or a approval for a rotary sign for you. Those are always in my town administrator report. And just so you know, and so the community knows, any sign that goes in the rotary, we make sure that it goes through the approval process and meets your standards, and if it doesn't, we do remove them. So there are occasionally rogue signs, and we do deal with it. So if you see a rogue sign, let us know. It's one of my favorite things to do, to go take rogue signs. Also, it just gives me an excuse to walk up there. I really do like it. And one motion for you, I'm asking you to entertain. The Andreessen family is looking for town space to hold a memorial for Carl. And I linked his obituary for those who don't know Carl and his impact on the town. But they're looking for either June 27th or July 11th to use the patio over here. And because it's not a town function, it does require your approval if you'd like to grant it.
I'm happy to be the sponsor, or any of us I'm sure would be. I read that and I was very touched that his family wanted to make that happen. And it sounds like there's been a delay of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily know why, but there was, yeah.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, yeah. Put me down as a sponsor, or Travis, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I didn't know him, so if you knew him, please.
But do we need a motion from
You
the
do.
select board?
Oh, we
So
do.
I'd move that the Andreessen, to allow the Andreessen family to utilize the Clark Room patio on June 27th or July 11th for the memorial service. Is
Can we
that
get a
sufficient?
second? Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Is there any other discussion on this? Okay, let's take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any no votes? Okay, the ayes have it.
The last part of my report is just some topics coming up at your upcoming select board meeting. The town meeting debrief that the moderator wants to have with you is scheduled for your next meeting. Also, I think that the town needs to have a discussion about vocational school with the school committee. They're pretty and reasonably distracted by the interim superintendent appointment process right now. But with the opportunity for students to go to vocational school and the costs that are related to that and the service that might be necessary for some students, I do think the select board and the school committee have to have a conversation about it. It's been 2 years that you've been trying to, so I think this gives us the impetus to actually make it happen. And then the MVP group is going to make their final presentations to you. This is several recommendations about vulnerabilities in the town. The first one that we are attacking is culvert vulnerability. We did apply for a $600,000 grant to design some culverts for repairs to make our money more efficient in terms of culvert replacement and repair. But Julie's going to come in and talk about MVP generally and some items that will be coming onto your capital plan or radar and topics in the future.
These are only physical vulnerabilities?
Vulnerabilities related to climate change, yes.
I see.
There's also social vulnerabilities as well. So it's anything that may endanger the social or physical structure of the town due to climate change.
Okay. You know, go back on your vocational schools, Ryan. We absolutely need to have a discussion there. Do we ever, at any point, talk to the vocational schools themselves? Like, I'm really curious as to why they suddenly are accepting students when they had a stated position of not, or do we look forward to our school committee to bring that information when they come?
I think you should be having that conversation, and also who's managing students that go to vocational school.
Yeah.
Although I'm happy to help there, I don't think the town administrator is the best person because of the educational component of it, because I don't understand, I'm not an expert in that. Funding is my thing, right? But which superintendent or how they're doing it is important. And then should we be looking at a regional agreement again? And I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but
Right.
if there's going to be a lot of students, then there has to be a cost-benefit analysis done.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, anything else?
That's my report. Welcome to the new members. We talked to them about agenda and all things Carlisle, so we're excited.